Hi, Gemini. I'm Ronique, and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your November 2024 General Tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of November. Now, this is continuing of a really big fall here. We are coming off of that eclipse season that we had back in October. The big things that are going on during November is Pluto moves back into Aquarius for the next 20 years. Saturn in Pisces retrograde ends, as well as Mercury in Sagittarius retrograde does begin. Now, also, we have the US elections. Regardless of where you are in the world, this is a huge event, but it's even a bigger event in the astrology because on that day, we will actually have Mars in Cancer and then into Leo opposing Pluto. Really big energy there. Pluto is at its 29th degree. So expect something big to happen probably around those election dates. Just letting you know that it'll probably not be decided on November 5th. So let's get right into it, Gemini. Check the description box below and let's get right into it. You start off that first week of November with the Moon card, Major Arcana in reverse, as well as the Seven of Cups. Second week of November finds you with the Magician, also in reverse. Page of Cups comes on in that second week of November. Third week, Knight of Swords in the reverse, as well as the Two of Wands also in reverse. And you end the month with the Ten of Cups in reverse. A lot of reversals going on here, as well as the Two of Swords. So some type of major decision is upon you as you enter into December. So let's move these cards over, make sure you can see everything and get them into frame for you, Gemini. All right, so let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you a card representing the energy that you are bringing into the month of November. Spirit, if you can send my Geminis a card representing the energy they brought out of October. And you have the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins is that slow moving energy, possibly conversations around your job, money, possibly your resources back in October. Oh goodness, I just had a little cough. A little slow moving for you, Gemini. So for any of you all who were possibly waiting on a decision, possibly you went to your boss and asked for a raise or asked for a little more time off. Something here sounds like in October, there were conversations around slow moving events. And I do think that as you move into the month of November, something here looks like it's still hidden. It looks like there's a lot of ideas out there, but you don't necessarily have all the answers, Gemini. And I do think that that's going to be a challenge for many of us because we will have Mercury retrograding in November. So these kind of answers may not really show up until once Mercury moves direct in December. So just keep that in mind. Be patient. This still could be a really good time for you to get and gather more info. So let's ask Spirit to let you have one more card here. And this is going to be an overall oracle message for the month of November. Look at that, spiritual strength. This is literally one of my favorite cards of this deck because I do think it really embodies what all of us wish we had, right? Being able to not only feel like you can do anything, but having almost the courage to admit that, okay, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm going to get there spiritually, right? So throughout this month, Gemini, just know that even if you don't get all the answers that you want, know that they are coming and know that you have spiritual strength. Your angels, your spirit guides are backing you up. So really nice to see this month for you, Gemini. So as I look over your cards, it's interesting that you have quite a few reversals in the second, third, and fourth weeks of the month. I do think that as we come into that very first week of November, we are coming off of the heels of October 30th, Mercury and Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus. Conversations around money, like I said there with that Knight of Coins, could have happened that very last week of the month leading into November. I do think that some of you will have a lot of options on your plate. This could be, if it's not necessarily about your job, it could be maybe your family, or it could be conversations around a third party. And it feels like right here with the Moon card in reverse and that Seven of Cups, pay attention to all of the options. Don't just jump at the first one, because with that Moon card in Pisces, there's something there where it feels like you were rushing maybe before to make a decision, and possibly it wasn't the right one. You have that Knight of Swords there, which is also a rushing energy. Make sure you're slowing down, paying attention, and having that spiritual strength to really pay attention to all your options. November 1st, we do have a new moon, and November 3rd, we do have this big energy of Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn, and also Mars enters Leo. So that first week is a big, big week, okay? Now, I'm also saying that, Gemini, because once we move into November 1st through 5th, this is when we're getting ready for the US elections. And I've been telling each of the signs that regardless of where you live on the planet, let me get my cards straight before I try and say all of this. I think Spirit's telling me I can't multitask. Okay. Wherever you live on the planet, Gemini, that first week of November is huge for everyone. Not only is the US elections occurring on the 5th, but November 3rd has Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree. This is really big. This is the last time we will have this opposition, and Capricorn at its 29th degree is going to be signaling something in the US chart as well. That same exact day, Mars enters Leo. For you all, you can see there's some kind of big decision right there with the Magician card in reverse, but it's almost like you're afraid to start, or someone brings you some information here with this Page of Cups and you don't quite know how to use that info. I do think that once Mars enters Leo, it could give it a little more oomph so that you feel a little more positive, because Mars in Cancer is debilitated. I do think that once we move to November 5th, the day of the election, Mercury in Sagittarius trines that North Node in Aries, and a few days later, Mercury enters its retrograde shadow in Sagittarius on the 7th. I've been telling all the other signs, do not expect to have an answer on November 5th. I do think that many signs are going to be pointing towards one candidate versus the other, but I just think with all of that Mars opposition and Pluto, something else is going to be going on behind the scenes. So we will all wait to see what happens there, but definitely for your own life, pay attention to really important themes coming up around the 5th through the 7th. Now, by the time we move on through November 7th, Mercury enters retrograde shadow. The 11th, Venus enters Capricorn. And then on the 15th, Saturn retrograde ends in Pisces. So Gemini, this is going to be a time where many of us are learning some type of Piscean themes that we hopefully learned why Saturn was retrograde. You all have two of these cards leading to making a decision, but you can't. Rushing into making a decision, but you can't. That really is your overarching theme here. You had it back here with that Seven of Cups in the Moon card, and it's repeating here, Nine of Swords, Two of Wands, both in reverse. Take your time, Gemini. November 15th, Taurus full moon. Some type of revelation could come up around here. You may not still be able to make your decision right yet, but I do think that once Pluto moves into Aquarius for the next 20 years on the 19th, things could start moving in a more cerebral direction. Like you might be able to think better once we have Pluto in Aquarius, okay? Now we end the month with the Ten of Cups in reverse, Two of Swords. You all have a major decision ahead of you all. I will tell you, Mercury retrogrades on November 25th until the 15th of December. This decision could be family related, holiday related, something here you will not know fully all the information until we move past it, Mercury in its retrograde post shadow. So be prepared for some ambiguity, possibly around the holidays. By the time we get to the 1st of December, Sagittarius New Moon could help you a little bit with some of the conversations with your family, decision making. But like I said, you may not have any clear results and information until we get on the other side of that Mercury going direct later on in December. So big month, Gemini, for all of us. I do think you all's major theme here is slow down, pay attention. You all have a lot of ideas. Do not rush into the first, second, and third idea. There's many more on your plate. So I hope this is helpful for you, Gemini. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series, and I hope y'all have a great November.